is that 16-year-old Justin Johnson had a family and he was loved. I spoke with his father today, who tells me he is still in shock and that a number of people were trying to help get his son off D.C. city streets.
I heard a rap, one of his raps for the first time the other day. Because didn't even want to listen to it because I wanted him to go to school. So he said, I got 1 foot in and 1 foot out in one of those raps, and I don't know what to do. Because they were saying, Justin, come with us. His managers and them, come with us. You got to put that behind you. But he said, no, I'm better off right here.
Michael Johnson is the father of 16-year-old Justin Johnson, a teen many knew in the neighborhood and on social media as an up-and-coming rapper named 23Rackz. The teen's manager tells Fox 5 the young rapper signed with a label named MGE in 2020. Johnson's father tells Fox 5 he didn't know that much about his son's rap career. Michael Johnson says his son grew up differently and as a child was an A student at J.O. Wilson Elementary and Stewart in Northeast D.C. His father says the son even received tuition offers to attend private school. However, as the older Johnson says his son got a little older, he started acting out and running away to be with friends in Southeast. In the family's battle, Michael Johnson tells Fox 5 he even asked court officials to hold his son on a previous gun arrest, trying to get the 16-year-old help, and sought counseling, but it took too long to get a diagnosis. These are the teen's sisters.
It's hard
what up, y'all?
to see.
It's your boy, and I'm back with another one. A sad one. But today is the story of Justin 23Rackz Johnson, who was shot and killed about 20 minutes after he posted an IG story post dropping his location. Now his paperwork has surfaced and his killers have been caught. So sit back, try to relax, and let me tell this sad story of another young black male killed in his own hood. It's your boy, Doughboy. On Thursday, May 26th of 2022, at approximately 11:24 a.m., members of the Metropolitan Police Department 7th District responded to the report of a shooting on 2234 Savannah Terrace Southeast. Upon arrival, police officers located a juvenile victim inside 2234 Savannah Terrace Southeast. The victim was unconscious and unresponsive and suffering from apparent gunshot wounds. The victim, subsequently identified as Justin Johnson, hereinafter will be referred to as the Descendant. On Friday, May 27, 2022, Dr. Christina Geese of the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner conducted the autopsy of the decedent. The autopsy revealed that the decedent sustained 2 gunshot wounds to his body. The decedent sustained 1 gunshot to the left side of his back, which struck both lungs, the aorta, and exited through his right chest. The decedent also sustained 1 gunshot wound to his arm. At the murder scene, located on the 2200 block of Savannah Terrace Southeast, the block is a cul-de-sac with multiple apartment buildings. The sidewalk in front of 2230 and 2234 Savannah Terrace, there was a blood trail that led to 2230 Savannah Terrace. On the first floor landing, where the decedent was observed laying on the floor, there was medical supplies around the decedent. And the stairs to the second floor, there was a blood trail leading to the top. Towards the top of the stairs, on the wall, was smeared blood on the stairs and a set of keys and a black face mask. Across the street, from 2230 Savannah Terrace to the rear of 2225 Savannah Terrace was a grassy area where 11 shell casings were located. In between the 2 points was a dumpster surrounded by a wooden fence. There was multiple apparent bullet holes in the fence. Apartment 14 of 2234 Savannah Terrace, there was a bullet hole in the living room window. A bullet hole was observed in the living room closet, but the projectile was unable to be recovered. On apartment 24 of 2234 Savannah Terrace, there were 2 bullet holes in the living room. A fragment and a projectile was recovered in the living room. Apartment 34 of 2234 Savannah Terrace had apparent bullet holes in the window. No additional evidence was located in the apartment. In the street in front of 2230 and 2234 Savannah Terrace, there was a single fragment observed. Found on 23Rackz's body was a firearm in his waistband that was removed by detectives, and there was about $955 in U.S. currency in his pocket. He also had a bag containing blue pills that was located in his right coin pocket. He also had a debit card in his right rear pocket with the name of someone that did not match his. When police arrived at the scene, they conducted 2 interviews. One on-scene interview said that they were standing in line at a food truck near the location where 23Rackz was murdered. They reported that they heard 5 to 7 gunshots and that the witness immediately fell to the ground for safety. Then the witness observed a brown Toyota RAV4 make a right-hand turn onto 23rd Street prior to going out of view. They said that the witness, 1, could not give a description of the license plate of the Toyota. They also observed the Toyota was accompanied by 2 individuals, a driver, a black male wearing a white hat and a white shirt, and a front passenger, another black male wearing a black baseball-style hat. Witness 1 also said that they went back into the laundry room of a nearby building for safety. They also reported that prior to the shooting, there was a group of black males in the circle of 2200 Block Street of Savannah Terrace. Now, witness 2 said that they were working at a nearby construction site when they observed a black male wearing a white t-shirt and blue jeans standing in the walkway in front of one of the apartment buildings. Witness 2 also stated that they observed a young girl standing in the walkway as well. Witness 2 stated that they heard numerous gunshots and dropped to the ground to avoid them. Witness 2 also stated that they observed the same black male run into a building on 2230 Savannah Terrace, and an unknown female pick the young girl up and take her into the building at 2334. Witness 2 also stated that they did not observe who was shooting, or they did not know where the gunshots came from. Now, detectives were able to review some CCTV footage that was captured from the nearby Woodbury Village apartment complex the day of the murder. Detectives viewed that a CCTV angle that was fixed to 3249 29th Street Southeast. This angle shows the intersection of 22nd Street Southeast and Savannah Place. The timestamp is digitally inserted into the frame. At about 11:06 a.m., 3 subjects are seen in the camera walking southbound in the alley that runs north and south between Alabama Avenue and Savannah Place. These subjects then turn left and walk east on Savannah Place towards the apartment complex where the decedent was murdered, 23Rackz. At 11:07 a.m., these subjects stop in the intersection of 22nd Street and Savannah Place. All of the subjects appear to be wearing all black clothing, including long-sleeve sweatshirts and long pants. Additionally, all 3 subjects concealed their faces with black face masks. One of the subjects appears to have a white emblem on the left chest area of the sweatshirt the subject is wearing. It should be noted that the observed temperature in Washington, D.C. at 10:52 a.m. on May 26, 2022 was about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The 3 subjects continued to walk eastbound, where they then enter an alley that separates 3245 23rd Street and 3224 22nd Street. The subjects are then picked up exiting the alley and entering a courtyard in the Woodbury Village apartment complex at about 11:08 a.m. Then a CCTV camera shows them entering the courtyard at the Woodbury Village apartments. At 11:08 a.m., The 3 subjects are then filmed walking into the courtyard, and they then interact with 2 other individuals who appeared to be walking in the opposite direction. Also, one of the subjects in the group appears to have red and white accents on his shoes. The original 3 subjects then walk out of a camera frame and are then captured on a second CCTV camera of the same courtyard. The subjects stop after walking a few feet, then turn around and walk back through the courtyard and leave through the same alley in which they initially entered. The 3 subjects are then captured again at about 11:09 a.m. on the camera that's fixed to 3249 23rd Street, as figure 5 shows below. The subjects, after they then exited the alley, and they continue to walk southbound on 22nd Street Northeast. At 11:10 a.m., the subjects are seen still walking around 22nd Street Southeast via CCTV camera angle that's positioned on the same building but displaying the opposite direction as the camera depicted in Figure 5. Figure 6 shows all subjects continuing to walk southbound. As the shooters are firing towards the direction of 23Rackz, 23Rackz is then seen tripping over a small child, and then he ran into the building at 2230 Savannah Terrace. Then the shooters then retreat back to 2225 Savannah Terrace. Detectives and forensic analysts found 11 shell casings that were found by the fence at 2225 Savannah Terrace. Also, the shooters may have been accessed the rear of 2225 Savannah Terrace. There is a black iron wire fence that at the rear of 2225 Savannah Terrace, and that leads back to the rear of 2225 Savannah Terrace and down a small hill into a parking lot that leads to 3330 22nd Street in Southeast. The trail is still walkable and is littered with various amounts of items and trash that indicates that it's in frequent use. Then, detectives found that there was footage by a citizen who wants to remain anonymous, and he said that he provided 2 video doorbell camera clips at approximately 11:28 p.m. and it shows them the descendant's murderer, 23Rackz, running. In addition to showing the 3 individuals on the ring camera also recorded the audio of the group passing the camera in the audio. As the 3 approach the camera, a siren is heard in the background. The individual and the middle individual began running because of the sound of the sirens. Then the 3rd individual is then heard saying, "Walk, oh my God, if I get locked up because of you, bruh, stop running. Fuck you throwing me off. This is why I don't do shit with you, bruh." In addition to another video, the 3 men are then seen running between houses and into the alley that runs east and west between Stanton Terrace and Bruce Place Terrace. The individuals are then out of camera view. Derrico Johnson was then developed as a person of interest. On May 28, 2022, Detective Braxton received information and he had been contacted by a source of information that may have information about 23Rackz's homicide. On May 29th, a scout contacted Detective Braxton after speaking with the source of information. They told Braxton that a non-testifying, reliable source of information who was not an eyewitness of the homicide provided him with information about the homicide. The source of information stated that Derrico Damon Johnson, with an Instagram account of B_Lack8, has a son with the nickname of Rico, whom the source of information stated is one of the suspects in the homicide. According to the source of information, people have been approaching Derrico about his son Rico shooting 23Rackz. Your affidavit is aware that the decedent, 23Rackz, is a well-known local rapper with the stage name 23Rackz. According to the source of information, Rico's father has stated that he does not want to be a part of this situation. Additionally, the source of information did not know Rico's true name. On June 1st, 2022, Detective Spite of the Homicide Branch informed your Alpha David that he had been contacted by a source of information. The source of information informed Detective Spate that an individual with the name of Derrico Johnson was responsible for the murder of 23Rackz. Johnson said that he went to the courtyard and he met his aunt there, which was shown in the earlier part of the video when they were all in the courtyard. Then he said that Johnson, left the group and left the courtyard after he saw his aunt. Johnson was then shown a CCTV still frame of the group of subjects walking down 22nd Street after leaving the courtyard. When asked, Johnson said that he could not tell where he was in the image. Johnson then stated that the group walked down to the end of 22nd Street Northwest. Then there was a parking lot. This parking lot is adjacent to a yellow rectangle depicted in figure 8 that is the trail allowing access to the areas where the shootings were stood during the 23Rackz murder. Johnson then said that he got to the parking lot and he got into a vehicle with a female. He described the vehicle as a white Toyota Camry. Johnson said that 2 males did not get into the car with him. Detectives asked Johnson if he had his cell phone with him. Johnson stated that he did. Johnson then stated that he had not loaned his phone out to anyone else during that time. Johnson also stated that he heard gunshots as he was getting into the car in the parking lot. He could not recall how many shots he heard. Johnson then said that the female driver took him to his sister's house, which he indicated was in the area of Alabama Ave and Stanton Terrace. Though he did not provide an exact location, Johnson said that he stayed at his sister's house for a few minutes before leaving and walking home. Detectives pointed out to Johnson indicated that he was walking with the 2 other males down 22nd Street. Then, according to him, he got into a car and drove away from the area, leaving the other 2 males. After a few minutes of being at his sister's house, he then walked home. At some point, he meets back up with the 2 males, and then Johnson stated that the 2 males happened to be walking by when Johnson left his sister's house. Detectives then asked Johnson if he had a gun with him when he was in the area of 23Rackz's murder. Johnson said at first no. Then he said, "Yeah, man, I'm sorry." Johnson stated that he carried a gun to protect himself. Johnson was asked what kind of gun he had. Johnson then said he forgot what kind of gun he had. Johnson said he couldn't remember the caliber of the gun, but it was probably a 4.5. Derrico Johnson then told detectives that his father's name is Derrick Johnson and that he appeared to corroborate the information that was given to him by the earlier witness. Initially, Johnson denied being near the scene of 23Rackz's murder on May 26, but Johnson stated that he woke up and went to a nearby convenience store, then he went straight home. Then Detective Braxton proceeded to show Johnson the CCTV still footage photos that were obtained during the investigation at first. Johnson was then shown a still image that depicted was them. Upon seeing the image, Johnson asked if he recognized the person in the image. Johnson stated, "Yeah, that's me. I can see that. Obviously, that's me." Johnson identified himself as the individual in the figure. Johnson then proceeded to tell detectives that he had previously lied and that he was in the vicinity of 23Rackz's murder. Johnson then initially said that he had been wearing shorts, but then he corrected himself seeing the CCTV images. Johnson also said that he was wearing black Nike boots when he was outside. Johnson then stated that he had gone around 23rd Street in order to see his aunt. He said that he then walked down the hill. Then he went down 22nd Street and he went down the hill and he got into the car with somebody whom he could not identify, but it was a female. Initially, Johnson also said that he was alone and was not with anybody when he was in the area of 23Rackz's murder. Detectives then showed Johnson the still images, to which Johnson stated that he had just met up with the 2 other individuals when he was walking home. Detectives then showed Johnson the image that was pointing out a similarity in clothing and the white emblem on the sweatshirt of the individuals. Johnson then corrected himself and said that he was also the same individuals that were standing in the intersection of Savannah Place and 22nd Street Detectives asked if Johnson could identify himself in the image in figure 2. Johnson then pointed to the individual in the middle of the group, indicating that it was him. Johnson told detectives that he had walked into the Woodbury apartment complex in order to see his aunt to get something. Detectives then showed Johnson a still image of the CCTV camera, and it depicted in figures 4 and 3. Johnson again identified himself, pointing the males out that appears to be leading the group of male subjects. The sad part about this is that Johnson then brought up 23Rackz during an interview before either detective made a mention of him. Johnson then indicated to the detectives that he was just friends with 23Rackz and he had nothing to do with his murder. And that was before police even asked them anything about it. Right after 23Rackz posted this story, he died about 30 minutes after, or maybe even less. But we don't know why he got killed, but we do know who did it. Man, yo, this joint is just a sad video, man. I didn't get to put all the paperwork in the video, but basically you guys know what happens. Basically, they wake up early in the morning, they go look on Instagram, they see that 23Rackz posted something, he's in the middle of this circle, and then they pull up and then they shoot from like 50 feet away. They shoot through the fences and everything. They shot like 11 times, and then 2 of them hit 23Rackz. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because, again, this guy was just getting his feet off the ground. He signed a $100 deal, $100K deal. He was on tour with Wale and Polo G and all that, man, and it's sad. And the other thing is, the nigga who did it, the main nigga who gets caught, he gets to telling and didn't even say anything. The detectives didn't even put no pressure to him, and he already gets to snitching. So I'm like, man, like, what is really going on here? Like, bro, the streets is this all a bunch of crash outs, bro. Like, how in the world does this guy gets caught and he snitches on his 2 friends? He said, if I'm going down, y'all coming down with me. But man, long live 23Rackz, man. Long live everybody affected by the violence, man. Stop the violence, man. Make sure you like and subscribe, man. It's your boy.